tragic killing of Irene and Jack Bryant of Hendersonville in the Pisgah National Forest and campus shootings at Virginia Tech and Northern Illinois have caused some people to question state laws against handguns in public places. Would you favor a state law allowing people with concealed carry permits to carry guns in schools, on campuses, in state forests, and in state parks?
Certainly not on schools and on campuses. I think that would be a bad direction to head in. On the other venues, I think in obviously federal areas, that would be controlled by federal law. And then on the state would be on, I'd have to look at what the particulars of that would be. Having said that, I want to make sure that everybody understands I'm a former prosecutor, I'm a death penalty supporter. I think the moratorium needs to go away. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. I used to own a bullet manufacturing operation. So you ought to see where I'm coming from on that. But guns on campus, bad move. Both Pat and I serve on the Board of Trustees at Catawba College, and we've had some experiences on our campus with some things that have gone on in our history, and so that would be a bad move, and I would not support it. We do need to increase security at our campuses and to make those to be the safest places they can possibly be, but in those other venues, we'd have to take that on a case-by-case basis.
Mayor McCarty.
Not in schools, but I firmly believe that we need to start enforcing the laws that are on the books right now. And one of the major reasons I'm running for governor is the total breakdown in our criminal justice system. We have gangs all over the state of North Carolina. Our governor and most of the state legislature doesn't talk about it. We've been trying to get gang legislation passed now for over 3 years. It can't even get out of committee in the Senate side of the state Senate. It's outrageous. And I've been, by the way, this is not new. I've been talking now for 10 years on people being arrested time and time and time and time again. And nothing's being done in DAs, in courts, and in jails. And by the way, the county sheriffs are just being dumped on by confining people waiting for trial for such a long period of time. These killings that have happened recently in this area at Duke and Chapel Hill have been happening throughout the state for many, many years because we don't believe in convicting people anymore. Most of the people we arrest, especially even under the age of 16, they're back out in their neighborhood within 24 hours. And one of the reasons I'm running is to speak for the victims of crime and to back up our police departments that aren't getting support from the state government. And I'm fed up with it. I vetoed a moratorium on the death penalty that was passed by my city council, which is absolutely ridiculous, especially when we have 2 killers on death row right now who shot and killed our police officers. In my city, I've had to speak at eulogies for fallen police officers, and I'm tired of it because the people that did these killings we've arrested before.
Just let me allow you a bit more time. I didn't hear your answer on the holstered pistol by a licensed gun carrier in a state forest for protection.
At this time, I'd have no problem with that. The education one, I have a serious problem with, unless it's possibly given exception to the school administrators. One of the things I did as mayor was put a school resource officer, a police officer, in every one of our schools to help protect the students. And it's been very successful. By the way, we have gangs recruiting kids within our schools throughout North Carolina, and we need police officers there to protect our teachers.
Thank you, Mayor. Judge Orr.
I would not be in favor of expanding the concealed gun permits to the kind of public places that were articulated in the question. Certainly in our schools, I know courtroom security is a huge concern of members of the judiciary, our clerks of court, people who work in the courtroom. I do agree, we have a terrible violence issue, crime issue in our state and in our country. It's not just related to gangs. The murders of the Bryant family had nothing to do with gangs. We have to provide our law enforcement personnel the kind of resources we need. We have a huge expanse in our population, the demands on our criminal justice system. I saw Jeff Hunt here, our DA. He certainly testified to the kind of pressures that we see. We're way behind in technology. One of the elements in that tragic murder in Chapel Hill was a failure on the part of the state probation system to adequately supervise and control one of the individuals who's been charged with it. We've got to provide the kinds of resources. And having been a judge for 18 years, believe me, I understand the problems and how we can go about addressing them.
Thank you.
I believe the genius of America is the freedoms that we were given in the Bill of Rights. And that we need to support those freedoms as much as we can. Unless there's a real strong public policy, we should not ever take those freedoms away. I agree with Roger West from Cherokee County as far as the Second Amendment. We need to buy, sell, or trade. People need to have the right to bear firearms. And unless there's a real strong public policy to prevent that, I don't see that the government has the right to take that away. I do believe that in schools where we have young children, there is a strong public policy to prevent firearms in schools. As far as parks or other places, I don't see that there's a public policy reason to prevent people from the right to carry firearms. So I am a proponent of the Second Amendment. I believe strongly in the Second Amendment. I am a strong proponent for law enforcement. I believe that government's #1 responsibility is to provide safe streets, safe homes, and safe schools. And that's why virtually every Republican sheriff in this state supports my candidacy, because they know how strong I am, both personally and in my record as a commissioner and as a senator, to provide strong legislation to support their rights to protect the people.